Welcome, everybody, to our yummy yin. There it goes. So glad you could all join tonight. So, why don't we start off in our comfortable seated position? You can be up on a block or a blankie. Let's set our cross legged position if that's what we're choosing. You can be Virasana. You can be even seated with legs extended, but let's set it up well if we're doing cross legged. Find our low ribs and just glide your hands forward so that they're right over the knees. So that's too low. This is too high. Find that. Nice and lined up. Whichever leg you're called, just first bend a leg and the ankle goes directly under the knee, and then the other leg bends, ankle directly under knee. And then ideally when the legs release and soften, this is super comfortable and you'll feel very solid in the seat. So let's create the Kali Mudra. Let's bring the hands together. Let's fold all the fingers down, fold the thumbs in, and just the index finger will be raised. You can do this with arms overhead or arms at your chest. Just so the arms stay in the picture, I'm going to stay with arms at, at the chest. So feel free to join me. There's a slight press of the palms towards one another. The shoulders are soft, the jaw is soft. It's fine to do this with eyes closed. If you start to feel dizzy, you can open eyes and stare at one point. Your head can turn with your body. If you choose, if that makes you dizzy, just stare at one point and just move from the waist, the upper torso. All right. So let's just gently, I'll instruct with closed eyes, but you again may keep yours open. Just close the eyes for a few moments and notice self, my sits bones melt down into Mama Earth. Self, my legs soften, letting go. Self, as the sits bones ground, Mama Earth sends life force up, up, up through the spine, creating a sensation at top of head. And self, crown chakra opens. Self, as crown chakra opens up and out in all directions. Start to notice the space in the waist getting a little bit taller, a little longer. And then when you are ready, you'll begin with an inhale through the nose, moving to one side, exhaling, turning the body towards the other side at a nice rapid pace. Come back to center, just pause and notice sensations. Ideally, there was a flood of energy through the spine. So let's do that once again. Perhaps if you remember which way you began with the inhale previously, perhaps you start with the inhale the opposite direction this time. And when you are ready, just begin. Come back to center. Notice the whoosh. If your arms are over your head, glide your hands to your chest, to your heart center, maintaining the mudra. Just pause in the silence for a few moments. Slowly and gently releasing the mudra. Slowly and gently opening the eyes. So take a moment to extend those legs. Let's pull the toes back towards the face and apart. And then let's point those toes, little energy through those legs and through those feet. And then pull those toes back towards the face and gently point them away. Let's do this one more time. Pull those toes back towards your face. Point those toes away from you. Now, softening the knees, bring the thighs apart a bit. Start off with feet flat on the earth and just feel the sits bones, how they'll ground a little bit deeper. You'll feel a little bit more solid. And then from this easeful point, resist that urge to push the thighs apart. Just let the thighs extend out to the sides in a very easeful position. And then let's take that right leg. Let's bring that in so that the foot is towards the thigh or left thigh or towards the calf, whichever is more comfortable for your body, whichever helps you feel more solid on Mama Earth. And then let's turn the ribs, just that gentle bit towards the extended leg. And let's come forward, whatever that might be. It might be fingertips. I'm going to stay right here. Any of you can come down forward, whatever that is for your body. I'll just stay in the simplistic way so you get that visual. This right hip stays grounded. So if it's coming up, just ease the torso back. Good. Head and neck are comfortable, so you might be dropping your chin to your chest. You might be rounding. You might find that a long spine with just a relaxed head feels really comfortable. So I deliberately chose tonight the Kali Mudra because I do think for our springtime energy that we're working, it's a beautiful, her energy is beautiful. Remember, she does that energy is the energy of destroying things that aren't needed, literally letting them drop away, move on. Detox is a word we use a lot. And then it leaves openings for creation of new and renewing. And so we speak a lot in this springtime time about detoxing. And I want to reframe that a little bit for us. Yes, we're detoxing. Yes, things are releasing. And we have a tendency to think about that as almost in a control way. I'm going to control my environment. I'm going to control myself. And I'd like to just move us beyond the detox with our thought process into the joy that a clearing creates. So I cleaned my house today, so I'm going to use some houseworking metaphors. I mean, when you wipe off your counter and you shine it up and there's nothing on there and it's beautiful and sparkly, yes, you cleaned it. But then what do? We focus on the joy of how clean it is, how bright and shiny. If you're like me, when you vacuum a rug, then I tend to focus on the vacuum tracks. I love the vacuum tracks, no footprints on the rug. There's the joy there. So as we're releasing tonight, as we know things are detoxing, let's take our minds forward to the next spot. Oh, mama, that feels so juicy in my hip. Oh, wow, my kidney feels clear and clean. Now, slowly and gently, if you're forward, gather energy in your belly. Inhale up and pause for that yummy whoosh. Ah, there's the sparkly countertop. Use your hands to allow that right leg to release. Pause a moment and just settle both sits bones evenly. And then we'll pick up that left leg. We'll bring it into a comfortable position, easeful on the knee. If the knee is having discomfort, you slide the foot further down the right leg. We turn the low ribs, go over the extended leg, whatever feels comfortable, whatever feels good. And so then as we're settling, we start to notice the stickiness just dropping away. That's those beautiful vacuum tracks on the rug. So I'm going to just let you enjoy this one in the silence and see and feel the joy in the shape, in the clearing, in the detoxing. Pausing right here for 6 more long, full, deep, absolutely gorgeous breaths. You're all doing great. Gathering energy in the belly, gently drawing it in so that when you inhale up back to the neutral spine, you feel that whoosh. Great. Take all the time in the world to recover in hammock, using your hands to move your legs, slowly and gently, windshield wipering, wanging, extending legs in any way that feels right. Good. And when you feel complete, we're going to allow the soles of the feet to come together in our seated butterfly, but we're just holding this shape for a few moments. And then we brush our first 2 fingers right up against the heels. So again, that arm distance we sit up well, is the distance of the heels from the body. Now we're going to take this directly into deer. So we're going to keep this left leg exactly as it is. We're going to pick up the right leg. We're going to inner rotate. So the inner thigh goes towards the earth, the inner arch of the foot, the inner calf. This is held in a position that's comfortable for the knee. So for some of you, sliding your heel away Making a bigger space behind the knee feels really good. It does put a lot more pressure here in the hip. So if that feels good for you, that's great. But if it puts pressure on the knee, you pull that heel closer towards you till there's no knee pain. All right. So we find this just somewhat comfortable seated position. Sits bones are grounding equally. We're going to pause with fingertips out to the sides. The shoulders are soft. We're going to pause here for about a minute. And so in a perfect yoga world, we start to notice sensation in belly here. And so again, we resist that urge to say, oh, I'm clearing in any negative way, right? Oh, I'm getting rid of my puffiness. Oh, no, it's notice the smell of clean, right? That's when we do housework. We love how clean it smells. So that's our little metaphor. That's it. Now, right here, we're getting some nice space in this left side waist. We're getting a little bit of a pinch in right side waist. We're going to take this left hand, we're going to bring it behind the head. So just at that little lump at the back of the head, just gently put your palm there. Soften your shoulder back into the socket. So hands behind the head, shoulders soften into socket, and elbow tracks forward towards the camera. Good. And we just soften right here for a moment. And then we take these right fingers. We walk them to the right just a few inches, just 2 or 3 inches. The spine is nice and long. And then we're going to allow the elbow to start to soften towards the right, which brings the head and the jaw towards the right. And you can even lay your head on your shoulder if it's easeful. It doesn't have to happen. And there's a gaze downward. So just breathe right here. Good. And then slowly and gently, keeping the head exactly where it is, float that left arm down just right into your lap and just let the shoulder go. Let the arm relax. It's just hanging from the shoulder, right towards the lap. Chin is still gently tracking towards the right. And just breathe here. Yeah, everybody's looking good. Gather energy in your belly. Gently draw it in. Inhale the head back up towards neutral. And then exhale. And then next inhale, pull the torso up back to neutral. Just pause. Notice the joy, the fresh, clean smell. Now, slowly and gently use your hands to unfurl the legs. Allow them to come forward. Stillness might feel good. Windshield wipering might feel good. Just give yourself what you need. You might want to just place the feet on the earth and hug in a bit for a moment. But ideally, you'll see that your right leg is noticeably longer than your left. Your left side body, shoulder, and neck are feeling ideally freer than on the right. Good. So we did a little cross-body patterning there. So let's create that same sensation again. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. We take the measurement, so we're brushing our heels with our first two fingers. Right leg stays where it is. Left leg, we create an inner rotation. You might need to pick yourself up and set yourself back down. You might need to bring your thighs a little closer, a little further apart. Just adjust it where you feel good, feels right intuitively. No pressure on the knees. Fingertips out to the sides and the shoulders soften, and we pause right here. Just enjoy. We can also think of the joy of when we clean our houses and we put things where they belong. It's because this one's a cross-body patterning, opening. Maybe we can think of the joy of putting things in their places. That's the joy of this shape on this side. So slowly and gently, just bring that right arm up. The hand comes behind the head. And then the shoulder drops down into the socket. And then the elbow tracks forward. Good. And then these left fingertips, staying up on the fingertips so we don't put too much weight on the hand. We're walking the fingers out just a couple inches. It's not very far. We're not trying to go as far as we can. It's where we still feel grounded easily through both sits bones. So it's truly only 2 or 3 inches. And then we just allow the arm, the chin, the head to track towards the left in a comfortable position. And if the gaze may be going down, looking down, that might feel good. The weight of the arm on the back of the head is slightly tractioning the neck and the shoulder. It's just a small move. It's not a big pull at all. No pulling. And we just breathe right here. Oh, self, how happy is it feeling? Everything being put right where it belongs. You may even get a slight rib adjustment in this one, back of the ribs as they go into the spine. Beautiful. Keeping head, the rest of the body where it is. Just release that right arm. Just soften it right to the lap. Just let that shoulder, let the arm hang out of the shoulder. Just breathing and enjoying here. Gather energy in your belly. Inhale the head back to neutral. Pause for your exhale. And on the next inhale, belly in, just pull your torso back up to a neutral position and pause for a few breaths. And when you are ready, no rush, just taking your hands on your legs. You might want to just extend. You might want to windshield wiper. Just give yourself what your body's asking for to recover. And take a few breaths to marvel how fabulous you are, how wonderful you are as all of the tissues are falling and moving the bones into exactly the most beautiful shape for you. Ah. So it's going to feel delicious to go to our bellies into a Sphinx posture now. For many of us, seated postures, after a little while, you can notice some sensation in back of heart, back of ribs, maybe perhaps a little tension there. So we're going to release that now. So we'll come onto our bellies, and we are going to have the option of the leg coming up in a half frog. So I'll mention that, and it's an option. It's not a have to. So here we go. Let's lay onto our bellies, and I'm actually going to flip directions because I just pulled. Sorry, guys. I just flipped my computer closed, and I just pulled my earpiece out and flipped my computer closed. So I'm coming back. No worries. Here we go. Let's see. Sorry about that, guys. I apologize, and I'm going to bring you back up in 1 second. There we are. Decided to use my wire today instead of my wireless, and maybe that wasn't the best idea. So we're going to make our way onto our bellies into our Sphinx. So we're on the elbows. And again, why does my earpiece not want to stay on right now? There we go. That should do it now. And so we've got ourselves on our bellies. Now, again, the elbows might be a little bit forward if that feels better for your shoulders. Now, the optional half frog leg is to inner rotate your right leg, bringing the knee up towards the hip a bit. You still want the pelvis to feel grounded. So, for example, I'm bringing it up really high right now, but you can see my belly's off the earth. That's too far. The belly stays on the earth. So it may just come up a little bit, and it's inner rotation. So it's inner thigh, inner foot, inner calf on the earth. If this causes any low back discomfort, you're either in too far or it's not for you tonight. And it's okay if it doesn't feel good on your back tonight. Head and neck are comfortable, which might be a neutral gazing forward position. It might be a dropped head. Oh, and as our body softens, let's think of the joy of our cleaning the house of our body, right? Or mopping the floors. So think of the joy of that. Oh, my floors are so clean. So, our tissues are so clean. Noticing the line of energy on front body from pubic bone, up front of body, all the way up, front of chest, front of throat, all the way under chin, our happiness line of energy. Now, if you have your right leg bent in half frog, glide it long onto the earth and pause with both legs long for a few breaths. And again, feel the joy in those tissues. And then slowly and gently, if you choose, it will be that left leg. It just comes up a bit, inner rotation. The pelvis stays on the earth, so it might only be up an inch or two. That's perfectly fine. It's nice and comfortable. And then we just go into the silence again for a few moments. Slowly and gently glide the leg long onto the earth. Just pause with both legs long for a few moments. And then slowly and gently bringing your hands on either side of your chest, just gently pushing up, perhaps seated in Virasana for just a moment, or just pausing in any seated position just to enjoy this. So whenever we sit on our feet or we do a child's posture, any variation of child's, it can put some pressure on your knees. And so you can always do these postures on your back. So quickly, we're going to do a tadpole in just a moment. So the variation on the back is to just bring your toes together. The thighs go apart and you just let your legs release in and out. We resist that urge to pull on them. Just let them release, but keep the big toes together. You're going to stimulate the same line of energy as we would if we put pressure on the legs, but it'll take the weight out of your knees. This is also a variation that's great if you're feeling any pressure in your shoulders or your shoulders are a little like, I don't want to work them anymore today. Just lay on your back and do tadpole in this
position with the arms in any comfortable position. They may be on belly, and you'll hold this. So that's your variation for knees or shoulders. Now, if you don't choose the variation, you'll join me. I'm going to face you just so you can see a little better. The big toes are touching. The thighs go apart. Now, normally in wide-kneed childs, I tell you, don't send them too far apart. Just make room for your belly. Well, this is tadpole. So tadpole, we do go further apart. Again, resist any pain in knees, come in further, resist a big sensation. So right here, I don't really feel anything. Here, mama, that's too much, right? So go where you're just before you'll feel something. How's that? Then when you come forward, you can be on your forearms, and this can be your tadpole. Head and neck are comfortable, which might be dropping forward. If it's very easeful for you, you can place one hand on top of the other on the earth and place your forehead right on your hands with your elbows out to the sides. So that's only if that's super easy and that the sensation in the groin is still easeful and not excessive. So just enjoy choosing your shape. Which variation feels better? Great. So this might be a good one to equate to we're cleaning our toilets in our house. That's a great thing when they're clean. It's very joyful. So while yes, we're detoxing. Yes, we're creating space. Yes, we're dropping anything that doesn't serve. But the bigger yes is we're opening to joy. We're opening to that happy sensation. Good. You all look amazing. You're doing great. You're almost there. 3 more long, full, deep, absolutely gorgeous breaths right here. In a moment, if you're on your back, you'll just use your hands to glide the thighs towards one another, and you'll place the feet on the earth, and then you'll windshield wipe or just recover from there.
All right, so those of us that are on our hands and knees, first you want to bring your hands in towards your groins so that when you press into them and lift the hips up, most of the weight is in the hands and not in the knees. So then you slowly walk your knees in a few inches at a time until you are up on your hands and knees. Then you can sit to one side and now give yourself, it might be hammock, windshield wipering. You will want to straighten the leg out in some way. So it just might be straightforward. It might be wanging, just recovering nicely. So the angels are changing my plan. So I love it when they do this. All right. So they're suggesting shoelace next. I was going to bring us to our backs, but shoelace first, and which again you can do on your back. So those of you who, again, you want the pressure out of the knees, you'll do this on your back. If you choose to join me seated, you can sit up on a block like I'm doing. And we're going to take the right leg onto the bottom. So the knee is forward, the right foot is outside of left hip. We're not sitting on the heel, and that left leg snuggles up and over. So on your back, it's the same. It's the left leg is towards your torso, and the right leg is towards the sky. And you can come forward if any forward calls to you. Just if it's easeful, if it puts pressure on your knees, stay upright or just a tiny bit forward. If it's really easeful to drape over the legs, you just go right ahead. We're stimulating inner leg and outer leg a great deal tonight. These are the liver and gallbladder lines, meridians. They are the primary meridians for springtime, along with wood as the element. And then we were doing the Kali Mudra earlier because her fierce feminine energy is so great for renewing, moving forward, which is a lot of what we do in springtime. Generally, we get a big boost naturally of energy. Stays light much longer, giving us more daylight time. And then all that connects with our spring cleaning that we're doing. So we can think of our shoelace as our clean sheets. Don't we love clean sheets on a clean bed? Oh, smells good. It's nice and crisp and cozy. That's it. Beautiful. One more minute. 6 long, full, deep, absolutely gorgeous breaths on this side. Beautiful. Slowly and gently take all the time in the world to merely switch legs. We'll do a longer recovery when we transition in a few moments. So when you're ready, it's the left knee on the bottom, the right leg snuggles up and over, coming forward, whatever feels good. Switching legs if you're on your back. Good. We've got nice, crisp, clean sheets. Ooh, let's imagine these sheets, this clean body, this fresh body that we're creating. Let's imagine it as if we have our sheets ironed and our pillowcases ironed. Ooh, that's a good one. Ah, yeah, that's the joy. Clean, ironed sheets. Joy. Softening right here for 6 more long, full, deep, absolutely gorgeous breaths. Slowly and gently, gathering energy in the belly, inhaling up. Taking the time to unfurl the legs. And we're going to make our way onto our backs. Now, in a moment when I have you on your backs, the optional arm position is hands behind head and elbows out to the sides. So the hands just interlace behind the head, around that big kind of little bulb in the back, and arms out to the side. This is an option. So when you're ready, if you're not already on your back, you'll make your way there, knees bent, feet flat. First, just let the back settle into Mama Earth. It should feel really yummy, really good, nicely melted onto the earth. And just pause here. Good. Excellent. And then let's bring our arms behind our head, elbows out to the sides. Again, this is an option. This is only if you choose. It'll create a little more space in the body, in the ribs. I think we'll clean the refrigerator now. So first, let's take the right thigh and we just bring it in towards the chest and we just soften the knee. And the thigh just comes in. The left foot is still on the earth. And we just let this leg soften and you'll feel the whole low back softening. There's literally nothing to do. Just breathe here for a bit. If the hands are behind the head,
In a perfect yoga world, the arms are on the earth as the elbows are out to the side. But if your arms are up just a little bit and it feels comfortable, that's perfectly fine. If hands behind the head isn't comfortable and you'd rather bring your hands up a little bit overhead and have your full arm on the earth, that's a great variation. Now here we go. We're going to take this right leg and we're going to create the number 4 shape. We're going to cross that right ankle over the left thigh and allow the thigh to track away from you. So away from you. And just soften right here. Now keeping the legs in the same shape, we're going to keep the arms where they are and we're going to inhale both legs in towards the torso. Good. And then we're going to allow the left leg to start to track towards the sky. So right leg stays right where it is. It's in the number 4 shape, but the leg starts to go up towards the sky. And notice how the legs will stay in the shape. We're softening. We're just enjoying. Just 6 long, full, deep, gorgeous breaths right here. The legs stay up on their own. There's no effort. Slowly and gently softening the left knee so that the foot starts to come towards the earth and allow it to come all the way towards the earth. Back to that number 4 shape, left foot on the earth. Just relax here for a moment. Keeping the arms where they are, just slowly release the right leg. Pause for a moment, let the back settle. Then lengthen both legs long on the earth and just feel for a few moments your nice clean refrigerator. And slowly and gently bending the knees, placing the feet once again on the earth. Now we're just going to take the hands that are behind the head and we're going to move the fingers down 1 digit. So we just lift the head up a little bit so that the opposite index finger is on top. That'll actually be an easier way to think about it. Just adjust those hands. And again, if the arms are overhead, that's fine. Or if the arms are by your sides, if you don't want the arms anymore, you can release them now if you don't want them for the other side, if you've had enough. And now it's just the left leg. So we bring it in towards chest and we just soften. Right foot stays on the earth. We'll clean the freezer this time. So we'll have the joy of a clean refrigerator and the joy of a clean freezer. That's it. Nice spring house cleaning for our bodies. Feeling the joy. Now slowly and gently, taking that left leg so the ankle is at the top of the right thigh, creating that number 4 shape. The thigh tracks away from you. Good. No need to push or pull. The openings are going to happen beautifully on their own. And slowly and gently, allowing the thighs to come in towards the chest. We're still in that number 4 shape. And the right foot this time starts to reach gently towards the sky. It's okay to keep a bend in the knee. There's not really any effort in this. The leg just stays up on its own for 6 long, full, deep, absolutely gorgeous breaths. And then slowly and gently start to soften that right knee so that you can place the foot once again on the earth. Pause for just a moment. Uncross your legs. Release the arms, bringing them by your sides. Palms are up. Just pause right here for a moment so that the low back settles before we extend the legs. You may have guessed we'll be making our way joyously into Shavasana. Shavasana, with our house cleaning metaphor, is just when you take the time to walk through the house and glory in all the sparkly, shiny, fresh, delicious smelling, wonderful, clean areas of your home. So slowly and gently, just release your legs onto the earth, melting into the joy. There's absolutely nothing left for you to do but to just let go.
If you'd like to just stay in Shavasana and drift away and sign out when you choose, that's perfectly fine. If you'd like, ready to come out, you'll just gently wiggle the fingers and toes, slowly rolling the head one way and then the other. When you are ready, you'll reach arms overhead, stretching fingers to toes in a good evening stretch. When you are ready, you'll bring one thigh in towards the chest, then the other, and just give those thighs a sweet, gentle hug. When you are ready, rolling over onto the right side in a fetal position, pausing there. And then slowly and gently pushing up to a comfortable seated position. Bringing the palms together at the heart center. May you continue to enjoy the clean house that is your body now, and your spirit and your mind. May you feel this joy for the next few days. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. Thank you for